Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of the Adria Twin Sport 640 SGX. So as we start, we'll walk around on the driver's side of the vehicle first. You've got your sliding door with fly screen, and the table that's in the vehicle can be placed here if you wanted to eat outside, and just behind the driver's seat belt you've got your switch for your electric step, your dimmer switches and your light switches. So this will bring the step in and out. Then at the back here, just above the back passenger driver's wheel, you've got your freshwater intake. So this is where you get a hose pipe and put a hose pipe in until it overflowed. Got a lockable cap there, so you pop your hose pipe in and wait until it either overflows until you know you've got a full tank, or you can see how much you've got on board on the control panel. But I would carry a hose pipe and some hose pipe connections, as it's mainly just a brass tap on most campsites. Then coming to the back, your LPG, so your gas locker. So this will fit two 6 kilogram bottles in there. This is just our little test bottle to test the vehicle. So it's a hand tightened pigtail, so no need for a gas spanner. So it's a left hand thread and tighten until it's tight enough, and then you turn on and off at the top of the bottle. Always make sure you've turned it off when you're traveling, and use the straps provided behind to tie the bottle in when you're in transit. Coming down the passenger side of the vehicle, you've got your cassette locker, but in here you've also got this red key, and you'll notice just on the side here, this is how you dump your grey waste. So this is anything you've put down a plug hole, goes into a separate holding tank called your grey waste tank. And then what you'll want to do is, on the way out of the site, you go past the waste disposal point for your grey waste. Use your key and you simply open it up. So push it into the vehicle and it'll open the waste.
There's no water anyway,
which is here, but because there's no water in it, it's not draining. And then you would close it after use. But in the winter, it's probably best that you leave it open during the time you've got the vehicle in storage, as you wouldn't want any water to freeze in there. Cassette loo, so ensure that the blade on the bottom bowl of the toilet is closed, and you'll be able to slide your cassette out. Got a handle there, so you can drag it to your waste disposal point. And then what you'll want to do is remove the blue cap, which acts as your measuring stick when you come to put your liquid chemical back in. Go to your waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside your toilet block. Press the button, tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, there's normally a tap there, so put some water in, put the cap back on, give it a rinse, tip out again. Then, like I've said, if you're using the green or the blue liquid chemical, cap full into here. If you're using the tablets, what you do is you put the cassette in empty, push it in, open the blade, press the blue flush button on the toilet to give you water, put about a pint of water in, then drop a sachet of the green or the blue tablet form in the cellophane into the cassette, and that'll break up into the liquid. There's got to be a pint of water in there for that to do so, and it's best that you ask your site which chemical they prefer you to use, as some sites are more environmentally friendly and want you to use the green instead of the blue. Then you've got your mains connectivity point, so this is where you hook up with mains power. So you get your hookup lead, lift the collar, slide on. Always hook the vehicle first, then the site, and obviously do it in reverse when unhooking the vehicle, as we wouldn't want you to walk around with a live lead. Then coming to the passenger door, you've got your diesel, which opens with the main ignition key, and below you've got your AdBlue tank, which is 19 litres. It'll come on between the temperature and the fuel gauge. As soon as it does come on, if you just pull over and put some AdBlue in, which you can get from most petrol stations now, either on the pump or in the drums. Otherwise, if you didn't, it could go into limp mode, which is 50 mph max speed, just to protect the engine, or if it goes completely dry of AdBlue, it will fail to start. But your tyre pressure's here, so 5.5 bar, which is 79.5 psi. You'll also notice on the side of the passenger seat you've got your 12 volt kill switch, which is just a battery isolation switch for your leisure battery, so you can turn it on or off if you don't want a power drain in the winter. And then your leisure battery is behind here. Engine battery is through this compartment in the floor, and your bonnet release is on the side of the dashboard. So underneath the bonnet to the left hand side, underneath the driver's side of the vehicle, you've got all your fluids. So you've got your screen wash. This panel lifts off and gives you access to power steering and radiator coolant. You've got your brake fluid, you've got your engine oil and dipstick. Paint codes on here, so for the Grigio aluminium it's 611. Then you've got your earth for a jump start. Putting your key in here and lifting this compartment just behind the passenger headlight. You've got your positive for giving or receiving a jump start, and here you do have your weight plate. So at present this vehicle is 4,250 kilograms. That's its gross vehicle weight when loaded. You can't exceed that. But if you did want to put a tow bar on and tow with this vehicle, the train weight of the vehicle and whatever you're pulling can't exceed 6.5 ton. So above the habitation door you've got your Adria control panel. So to turn on, just press and turn on your 12 volt if you weren't hooked up, and if you are hooked up you'll get this little icon here which looks like a plug, which means you're receiving 240 volt. Then you would scroll, so if you scroll to this side you've got your leisure battery reading. Scroll again, you've got your engine battery reading. Then so that's all to the right hand side. If you go to the left hand side you can then turn the pump on and off just here, and it'll give you a fresh water reading and your wastewater reading. But remember, if you're using any water appliances you've got to turn the pump on and off. And if you didn't have sufficient water in the tank, the freshwater tank, don't put your pump on, as it is a chance you could burn the element on the pump. Here you've got your heating. So what you need to do, it's a Webasto diesel heating, so you need to make sure you've got a quarter of a tank of diesel or more, and you'd simply turn to full temperature, give it a couple of minutes, up to 5 minutes, and then adjust it to the temperature that you want, and this will start the combustion of the diesel far quicker if it's at full temperature, and then you adjust it to the temperature that you require. And then you've got your water. So your water heater on this is gas, a wheel gas heater, so you just turn down to the gas flame and then you'll get the green light within a few minutes to say that the hot water system is working. You've got your Webasto thermostat here, and then you've got your switch for your drop down bed. At the back, so you've got one here and you've got one beside the back door, so you can put the bed up or down from either the sliding cargo door or the rear barn doors. In the kitchen you've got two gas rings, and then you've got your tap. As long as the pump's on you'll get hot. Just getting up to temperature there, and cold water. And below you've got your grill at the top and your oven below. And you've also got a light, so you can turn the light on and off on the switch. gas taps for the gas burners and the grill and oven. Storage drawers. Ensure that you push the catch in to keep the door locked. A large storage drawer for your pots and pans. So you can turn kitchen under counter lights on, and if you push them in, on the top overhead cupboards are on a gas strut, so they'll stay open. Your Thetford fridge is 12 volt, so it doesn't matter if you're hooked up or not, as long as you've got some life in your leisure battery this will work. So press and hold to turn on and off. So turn it off, turn it back on. You've got your temperature here, so you can just select which one you want to go down to by pressing and holding, waiting for it to flash, and then scrolling up and down. And then you've got night mode, which is just here, which it'll lower the decibels of the fridge so you can sleep with it on without it purring. You've got freezer box, fridge, and then when you are finished with it for the season, if you just allow it to stay open by pushing this blue clip out, and the door just rests on it, and just leave it like that so air circulates in and out of the fridge. Once you've emptied it and cleaned it out, you do that. There's a drawer underneath it, and then your electric drop down bed at the back, using the switch by the door. So there's one switch there, and there is a switch at the back. You've got all your cushions, your ladder which clips on here, and you've got your box which has got your awning handle in there, and then you just push it back up. For when you travel. And then located on the driver's side of the vehicle at the back by your drop down bed, if you just lift this bit of wood, this is your freshwater tank, so to drain off in the winter, or you're not using it, or you're taking on contaminated water, you'd simply turn this twice and you'll hear the water drain out underneath the chassis. You've got a pipe here that runs off the diesel heater, which just keeps this section hot when the heater's on. So in theory it'll keep the top of the tank warm so that the water doesn't freeze, because it's an onboard tank. But remember to drain it off in the winter, as this is one of the points you'd want to winterize along with the waste, and then you'd open the boiler, all the taps throughout the vehicle, just to ensure that no water is left in any pipe. In the washroom, to operate the toilet, ensure that the pump's on. You'll be able to press this blue button here, which is your freshwater flush. Flush first to lubricate the seal on the blade. Open the blade by sliding to the right. Use the toilet with the blade open, flush after use, and then slide to the left, which seals the cassette and allows you to get it out when it is full. And when it is full, this green indicator will go red. You've got your light switches there, so one for the light above and one for the light underneath the mirrored unit. Then what you can do, it's on a strong magnet, pull this out. This will cover the toilet and give you a showering space. And when winterizing, remove your shower head from the hose, allow the hose to lie in the tray with all the mixer taps throughout the vehicle open, and any water in there will just drain out through the waste. And you do have a hanging rail for wet coats or wet towels. Handy toiletry cabinet. Then pushing the buttons in and pulling the levers opens the windows, and then use black wheels to keep the window ajar. Loosen to bring it in. And then you've got your travelling catch for your concertina door, which forms the bathroom door. So this is just showing your bed in the lowest position, and then you do have 2 cushions here which go on either side to make that bed slightly wider, which is the full width of the vehicle. And then at the back you've got this door here, so it's like a hatch which comes right the way to here and locks in. So should you be having bikes or things that you don't want coming through into the vehicle, you can have them all secure in the back, and you do have tethering points to tie them down. You've got your carb mat and your carpets throughout the motorhome. Obviously both sides of the bed, so they just go up there. One will go up there like that, and the other will go on the other side. Just to give you extra width on that bed. LPGs at the back, so this is where you put your propane bottles, so you can fit 2 in there. We've got our small test bottle on to show you things working, but it is just a left hand thread, opposite threads with being gas. Hand tighten, turn the bottle off when travelling, always make sure it's tied in, and then you've got a crush sensor here, so when that yellow toggle sticks out, just push it in and that'll allow the gas to go into the vehicle. But like I say, make sure it's turned off when travelling, and then everything else is storage. So you've got storage drawers, and cupboards at the bottom. 2 ducts for your diesel heater, another one there and one in the washroom, so this van gets really warm. Got storage underneath the seat, so if you take the seat cushion off, you've got storage this side. Trips on mains power, 240 volt, are here. Lift this section out, which is just the bottom of it, and then this yellow toggle is your boiler drain, so it's fitted with a wheel water heater. So what you need to do is, when it's pointing to the front of the cab, it's holding the 10 litres of water. If you just knock it across like so, that 10 litres of water will drain directly out underneath the chassis, and you always want to make sure you drain it down for the winter, as no warranty covers frost damage. So make sure it is drained down. And then on this side you've got your tank heater, so you can turn that up and down whether you want it on or off. And you'll notice you've got a gas tap there for your gas water heater. Storage under here, but there's your jack, brace and wheel kit there. So your tool kit's underneath that one, and then underneath this one, which is in the centre of the kitchen, between the kitchen and the washroom. If you just lift these grey levers up, it just eliminates any water that's in the pipelines when winterising. To operate your Truma Aventa air conditioning, make sure you are hooked up to mains 240 volt via the hookup cable. Use your remote, point it to the black infrared here. Press and hold and it will turn the air conditioning on. Then on the remote here, You've got mode, so you can change it between auto, recirculation, cooling the vehicle and heating the vehicle. And you've got your temperature, so you can go up to 31 degrees on the heating if you wanted to heat the vehicle. And you've got your fan speed here, so you can turn the fans down by just clicking on this bottom one. And if you open the bottom, you've got lights, so you can have the lights on an evening. You can time it by using the timers, and if you ever get a spanner flashing, all you've got to do is reprogram the remote to the air conditioning by pressing and holding the spanner button here, and it will resync itself back in with the air conditioning. And then you just press and hold, to turn the air conditioning off, and you can have the lights on regardless if the air conditioning is on or off. And then you've got adjustment here, so you can adjust where the outputs are going to, so you can have it all to the back or all to the front by the slide in the middle. And then you can adjust the points here as if, just the same as if you were adjusting them in the cab. And underneath the driver's seat is where you'll find all your fuses behind this blue cover there. So you've got a fuse cover for all your 12 volt fuses, so it would be a good idea to carry some spares with you. So now in the cab, to the right of the driver you have your handbrake, and then on the doors you've got your electric driver and passenger electric windows, and you've got your adjustment for both mirrors. So you've got two adjustments on both sides, top and blind spot, which you adjust through here by choosing your mirror. And then if you slide this back, expose the magnet, up it goes, and it just clips onto the side of the door there on the metal side. And that's the same for the passenger side. And if you pinch with your finger and your thumb, slide them out, that's how you would black the windscreen out. And then down to the right of the driver on the dashboard, you've got your headlight adjustments, your front and rear fog lights, eco, so if you want to put eco on, and this turns off your stop start should you want to deactivate it. Trip computer on the end of the wiper stalk, which will go through your range, your instant average consumption, your travelling times, your distance travelled, trip A and trip B. Got all your steering wheel controls, and then you've got your lights and your indicators. On the bottom you've got off, cruise control at the top, get your desired speed, push up to speed up, pull down to slow down. And at the bottom you've got speed limiter, so if you go up slowly it goes up in 1s, if you push and hold it goes up in 5s, but then you still do have the kick down function with the speed limiter, so this will limit you, but if you put your accelerator flat to the floor, it will overrule the speed limiter to avoid any situation. With the cruise control you can cancel with the brake, or you can cancel on the end here and then resume to the last speed set before the engine was turned off on this side, should you have to stop the cruise control because somebody's cut in front of you. 6-speed manual gearbox with lift the collar into reverse, brings on the reverse camera. You've got traction control, hill descent control, pretty much useless on a manual, it's more for an auto. Hazards, locks the doors on an evening, heated mirrors, USB for charging, 12 volt for charging. Got your glove box there, a heated and cooled glove box on the top through the air conditioning, which I'll get onto in a second. So the air conditioning, you've got the temperature on the outside ring, must be on at least fan speed 1 or more, which is on the inside ring for the aircon to work, which is this one here. And then you've got on the outside ring on this side, you've got your distribution, so where you wanted to go to, face, feet or screen, and whether you recirculate in air this side or bring in fresh air in on this side. This is the new Fiat head unit. So it takes Apple CarPlay, so you just connect your phone via USB if you're using an Apple iPhone, and it'll imitate the screen onto here. You've got your radio, which is FM, AM and DAB. And then all you'd need to do is scan for your channels by pressing browse all stations. This is all your DAB stations there. And then you press 1 to 3, or you can keep scrolling along and you can save up to 6 of your favourite channels. But then if you're struggling to get DAB, you can switch back over to FM. Going back to the home, you've got phone. And then you want to connect your phone via Bluetooth by pressing in the bottom right hand corner and then the plus sign. You want to find Fate 6722 on your device. Make sure it comes up with that. Press pair on here. Then it'll ask you if you want to allow your contacts to be saved. Just press allow and it will sync all your phone book into here, so you can scroll through your contacts and ring who you want through the head unit. Media is either USB or Bluetooth audio. If you've connected through Bluetooth, you can stream your music wirelessly through the Bluetooth. Screen off, you can turn your screen off if you want your radio on but you don't want the glare when you're on a site. Touch it and it'll come back on. Navigation at the bottom. So to put a destination in, this is just a map showing you where we are now. Press the 3 lines in the bottom right hand corner, new route, address, and you want to pop your town or your postcode in here. In the middle one, it'll say go to town and set as its destination. It'll give you an ETA and a rundown of obviously how long it takes, how many miles it takes, and so on. You can go to Decato, so if you go here, Decato, you can put your length, height and width in, and whether you're going to be towing a trailer or not, and your actual weight. So that's 4.25 in there, and it will accommodate to this vehicle. Settings, you can go in settings and you can change your sound, your bass and so on in there. But this is all explained in the Fate handbook, so I'll keep it simple. So you've got radio, FM, AM, DAB, phone, which is where you connect your Bluetooth, media, which is either USB input or Bluetooth audio, screen off, which turns the screen off, and your sat nav, which you'd go at the bottom, 3 lines, and press new route, address, and pop your postcode in the middle bar.